Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today on Masechtas Megillah daf Chaf Gimel, we are going to begin on the very top of Chaf Gimel Mud Aleph. The Mishnah said, "B'Yom Tov Chamisha, v'Yom Kippurim Shisha." So you had 5 aliyahs that are done on a Yom Tov and 6 on Yom Kippur. So Masnisin Mani, who's this like? Lo Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Kiva. V'Stanya, B'Yom Tov Chamisha, v'Yom Kippurim Shisha. It sounds a lot like what we just said. V'Shabbos Shiva, and on Shabbos there's 7 aliyahs. Ein poichasin mehen ve'ein mosivin lehan. No less and no more. Now we know on Shabbos that's not the case. Our Mishnah says you could be moisef. Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Kiva Omer b'Yom Tov Chamisha v'Yom Kippurim Shiva. It was Shabbos Shisha. So that's clearly not what we hold, because on Shabbos we don't do 6, we do 7. Ein poichasin mehen of a mosivin lehan. So at least this last part of adding, that is like our Mishnah. So Rabbi Shmuel kasha tosefes about adding aliyahs on Shabbos. He says you don't. Rabbi Kiva kasha shisha v'shiva. He says Shabbos and Yom Kippur the other way around. So Merava Tana de Rabbi Shmuel the Tana de Rabbi Shmuel, he says as follows: B'Yom Tov Chamisha, B'Yom Kippurim Shisha, B'Shabbos Shiva, Ein Poichs Mehen Aval Moisifin Lehen Divrei Rabbi Shmuel, and that is the din. Kasha b'Shmuel Rabbi Shmuel. So as we often say, Trei Tanoi, Lib Rabbi Shmuel is 2 Tanoim. A liba. How do we understand the sheet of Rabbi Shmuel? So Man Tano Hadasanya. Who's the Tan of the following statement that we say in the Brisa? B'Yom Tov Machirin Lavoi Mahirin Latzes. On Yom Tov you come late to shul and you can leave a little bit earlier. So why is that? So Rashi explains that on Yom Tov, you go to the Beis HaKnesses later, because you can cook on Yom Tov, so you can still be prepared doing that. And you leave early, Mishum Simchas Yom Tov, so you can go and enjoy the Yom Tov. On Yom Kippur, we get there early and we leave late, because what else are you going to do? You can't eat. Shabbos, on Shabbos you get there early, but we also leave early. We get there early because you can't cook on Shabbos, but because of Simcha Shabbos, eating Shabbos, as Rashi says, Shikvar Tiknu Hakol, but you leave early. Why? Mishum eating Shabbos. So Leim Rabbi Kiva the Islay Gabriatera. It must be maybe like Rabbi Kiva that holds about this extra aliyah. No, so Afil Tema Rabbi Shmuel, the Nafish Sidura di Yomi, because there is a longer tefillah. That just means that it's longer. On Yom Kippur, we do more. Okay. Hani Shleisha Chamisha V'Shiva Keneged Mi. So why do we have these different aliyahs, these numbers? What do they correspond to? So Plig Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Nachmeni V'Chad the ime Umanhu Rabbi Shimon Paziv Yomu Rabbi Shimon Paziv V'Chad the ime Umanhu Rabbi Yitzchak Ben Nachmeni the Yomu Rabbi Shmuel Ben Nachmeni Chad Omer Keneged Birchas Kohanim. So what's Birchas Kohanim? 3, 5, and 7. Yivrach Hashem Shmirach is 3. Yerushem Panim Alech V'Chunek is 5 sukkim, and then Yisrael Hashem Panim Alech V'Samach Shalom is 7. So you have this 3, 5, 7 pattern. The Chad Omer Keneged Shleish Shomri Saf. There are these guards. Chamisha Miroi Pnei Melech and Shiva Roi Pnei Melech. So it's these guards that protected a king, as it says in Megillah. K'nechsev Shivash Sari Prasu Madai Mehem Yish Chamisha Chashuvim K'nechsev B'Seif Malachim Shloishim Shemer Yasaf, etc. So therefore, having these aliyahs corresponds to like watching and overseeing the king. It says Taisus Shiva Roi Pnei Melech Pirish Akuntris Diachashiverish V'Kasha Loimer Shetiknu Chachamim Keneged Inyanu Shel Osa Rasha. It's hard to understand that we're deriving this based on Achashverosh. He's a Rasha. Like, who cares about him? So that's why we do aliyahs, is because of the way Achashverosh had his various security guards. Tani Rav Yosef. Gimel Chamisha V'Shiva Shloisha Shomer Yatzav Chamisha Meroi Pnei Melech Shiva Roi Pnei Melech. Armle Abaya Adu Idna. Until now, my time will parish Lanmar. why didn't you explain? So Amalei, Ulahavi Yodana, the Srichtule. I didn't know you needed to. Maybe Isa Minoi Milsa B'li Amrilahu. Have it ever happened that you basically asked me something I didn't say it to you? This is a particularly difficult Gemara in Masechta Sukkah, which ends up talking about fish, about whether it's salted fish, what's a kosher fish. Ayin over there. Amrulei Yaakov Minol Rabbi Huda Hani Shisha de Mekipurim Keneged Mi. Why do we have 6 aliyahs? What is that significance of 6 connect to the Yom Kippur? So Amrulei Keneged Shisha Sh'amdu Miyamino Shel Ezra. There were these 6 that stood on the right side of Ezra, Vashisha Mismol on his left. Shneimar V'Yamod Ezra HaSofer. That Ezra HaSofer is brought down in Sefer Nehemiah. It says Al Migdal Eitz, on this platform of wood. Asher also ledaber v'yamod etzlo mitisya v'shema v'anya v'uriya v'chilkiya umasea al yamino on his right, and b'smolo he had other 6 guards, 6 people: Pedaya, Mishael, Malchia, B'choshum, V'chashbadana, Zechariah, Meshulam. Okay, so Hani Shivahavi, if you count, that's actually 7. No, Hainu Zechariah, Hainu Meshulam. Zechariah and Meshulam are actually the same person. V'yamai Meshulam. So why is Zechariah called Meshulam? The Mishlam ba'uvdei. What does that mean? It says Rashi, Tamim b'masav. He was complete. He was a Tamim. Like we translate usually a Tam from Nagado. He's a simple person. Now Yaakov was no simple person. Yaakov was Ish Tam Yoshev Halim. It means he was perfect. Tanaban. Hakol oilin laminin shiva. Yafil cotton. Everyone could be counted in this number of 7, and even a cotton. V'afilu isha. Aval amar chachamim isha lo tikku b'tarm nikavad tzibor. So a very fascinating Gemara that says that technically a woman could get an aliyah. Technically, it says that a child could get an aliyah. The reason why we don't do it is because of kavod tzibor. So if we look at, let's continue. Iboilu, mafter mahu shel minyan shiva. How about mafters? Rav Huna, Rav Yomi, Barabba, chadam oila, v'chadam enu oila. So mandi arma ola d'hakari. The one who says you can call him up is because he's reading from the Torah. Umandi arma enu oila k'de'ula, d'arma ula m'nema hamafter b'navi sarach shikr b'tayra t'chila, n'nei kavod Torah. So the question actually is mafter considered to be counted among the 7? And the answer is it's a machlokus. So one shot is, yeah, it counts because you're reading from the Torah. So that should be one of the 7 aliyahs. Or Ula says the whole reason why we do mafter b'navi, you have to read it before, is because of kavod Torah. But the truth is, it's not that you're doing the reading for the reading's sake. It's just because we don't just want you to get called up straight up to do the haftarah. Says Rashi, Shloihe kavod Torah, kavod navi shava, that they shouldn't be equal. It's just for kavod Torah. It's not for a chiyuv, and therefore it's not counted as among the 7. So now let's see this taisus. V'kasha lefi min hagenu. Our custom shanu hagim b'chol shabasos hashana shahamaftir chayz v'kaira. We know when a person gets the haftarah, he reads a few of the psukim from the Torah. Mashikar harishonim vein kari klal achar kach, and don't read anything afterwards. Imkein maikam mishani. Why do we say kivandi mishum kavod tarahu kenegdo nami lo beinon? Adarabba haylo loimer de ein kara el mashikar harishonim. Kenegdo. He's only reading what was said before. So Shema Mina de B'nei Tanoim Hayamafter Kara Mashalo Kara Harishainim. Very interesting. That in the times of the Tanoim L'chaira, the person who read actually read different psukim. Because otherwise you can say, of course it shouldn't count, because you're just repeating what was said. So it says the fact that the Gemara doesn't give us that shot, that teretz, must be that it used to be the minig that when a person got called up for maftir, they would actually stop a few psukim before, and they would finish the Torah those last few psukim. Okay. I am this very lengthy taisus. Weiter. Meisvei. Hamafter benavi lo yivchos me'esev e'echab psukim. When it comes to the Haftorah, you should not do less than 21 psukim. That's the bare minimum. That's the amount. Keneged Shiva Shekar B'Torah. 7 aliyahs. And we require a minimum of 3 psukim per aliyah. V'im isa siva arba havin. If in fact there is maftir, then there should be 24. Kivandi mishum kavod Torah, who, as we continue to Chav Gimel Mad Aleph, because the whole reason for the maftir, as we said, is for kavod Torah. So kenegdo nami lul boy. So keneged, we don't need those extra 3 psukim. Maskevul Rabba. Bahari alosechem sofu doloi havin esren v'chad v'karinan. So there are haftorahs that are not 21 psukim. The man says, yeah, you're right, but shani haslam the salak inyan. We saw this on the Taisus when it came to the Torah reading on Purim, which is only 9 psukim, is also because of salak inyana. Havehecha delo salak inyana lo. The Yomi Rav Shimon bar Abba Zim Nisingin have committed Rabbi Yochanan Vachi have Korean Asar Psuki Armerlan Afsiku. When they read even 10 was enough. Mishum Sheish Torgaman Shani. Because there was a Torgaman, so therefore it became lengthy. It wasn't just 10 psukim, it was also translated, and therefore that was enough. The Tani Rav Tachliva bar Shmuel Lo Shmuel Elba Makam Shein Torgaman. Torgaman. Elba Makam Shein Torgaman. Paul say, question 1. Be'elu Ofanim, 2 answers. So one is if there is a Matorgaman. Alternatively, if you read less than 21 psukim, but that's psik inyan, it stops, then that's also acceptable to stop. Next Mishnah. Ein porsin al shema. What is that referring to? So Rashi says, Minyan haba l'beis achneses l'ach shekaru hatzibra shema. The tzibur read the Shema. Oimid echad. One person stood up. The Omer Kaddish. Ubarachu Rishonish Kriya Shema. Porsin is lashon chatzi hadavar. They said half. The ein oim lifnei teva. The shliach tzibur should not go up. The ein noisin is kapehem. You should not do the duchening. Vein karin b'Torah. Vein maftirin b'navi. Vein oisin ma'imid Moshe. Vein oimrim birchas avelim v'tanchumi avelim u'birchas chasanim. Vein mezamnin m'shem pachas masara. So all these different cases, you need to have a minyan. A bare requirement of 10 people is required in order to be able to do these different things, which are davar shel kedusha, which again is parsin as Shema, as you said, has to do with saying the Kaddish and Baruch Hu. Reading the Torah, you need a minyan. You can't do the Haftorah without a minyan. All these different things. Maimid, Moshe, Tanchumi, Avelim, Rashi explains, is Kishachayzu min hakvaros. After you bury the dead, Omdim, you stand up, Umanachmin es ha'avel, you console the mourner, the Inshur Pchus Masar. And they used to have rows, as the Gemara in Sanhedrin discusses, and the rows have to be at least 10. Fine. Uvekarkos, Tisha. When it comes to land, 9, V'kohen, V'adam kiyotz mehen. What does this mean? So Rashi says, when it comes to land of Hektish, and you want to redeem those lands, you need to have 10 people present, and one of them has to be a Kohen. And so too, when it comes to a person wishes to redeem their value from Hektish, so also you need minyan. So Midanimili, why 10? Where does a minyan come from? So So it says that they sanctified themselves. You need 10. So my mashma, how do we see it from that pasuk that's 10? The Tanu Rav Chia, Asi Toch Siv Hacha, V'nikdashti b'toch b'nei Yisrael. Siv Hasem he badu mitoch Eda. V'yase Eda. The Siv Hasem ad Masei le'Eda hara hazos. Malhan Asara Afkan Asara. So Rashi says, Eda in Pchusim Asar Shnemer and Masai LeEda Harahazos Yossi Yeshuva Kalev. So this is an unbelievable concept. We learn out the requirement of a davar shebekdusha from the Meraglim. That there were 10 of them. There were 12 spies outside of Yeshua and Kalev. That is the minyan that we derive. That when it comes to davening, you need to have a minyan. And some people learn out from here that it's coming to deliberately tell you that a person shouldn't say, oh, because these people are wicked or they do things wrong, that they shouldn't be counted as part of a minyan. And also, Hashem listens to the tefillos of a tzibor. So it shows maybe even if you have 10 people like that, it's still strong enough to be. It is strong enough to be a minyan. Ve'en oisen ma'amid Moshe pachas malasara. Kivon del meimor imdu yikarim amodu shavu yikarim shevu. They say stand up, you honorable ones, sit. So batzir masar lav arachara. The less than 10 people. It's not the proper way to trouble a tzibor in such a way. Okay. Ve'ein oimrim berachas avelim, berachas chasanim. So my berachas avelim, so berachas rachava. The bracha of mourners is talking about the bracha which is said by the rachava by the street. What is that referring to? Diyom Rabbi Yitzchak, Rabbi Yochanan, berachas avelim basara. That you need a minyan, ben avelim min a minyan, and the avel, the mourners, don't count. Berachas chasanim basara, v'chasanim min a minyan. However, when it comes to berachas kohanim, berachas chasanim, let's say, for example, you want a minyan to be able to say berachas chasanim, you want to say sheva brachos, so the chasan does count. Ve'im zamnin al hamazayin b'shem pachos mi'asara. So you can't say Hashem's name unless you have 10. Again, it's not respectful. The karkois tisha v'kayin v'adam kiyotzman. So minahanimis, I need minyan for being redeeming hektish. Shamar shmuel asar kohanim ksubim b'parsha. It says kohanim 10 times. Chad ugufi want to teach us the pasuk itself. The chad or v'idoch havi miyad achar miyad v'in miyad achar miyad el rabos. Tisha Yisraelim v'chad kayin, that you can have even 9 Yisraelim in 1 kohen. So Ema Chamisha Kohanim v'Chamisha Yisraelim Kasha. Maybe it's 5 and 5. Okay. The Adam Kiyotz Behen. So Adam Mikadosh. What does it mean? Can a person become holy? So Rabbi Avo, but Oimer, a person says Damei Alai. A person, as brought down Masechtas Erechin, a person takes upon himself his value. The Sanya Oimer Damei Alai Shomanoi Ke'eved. He's valued like a slave. In the marketplace, the Evid is karkos, and we know in many ways the dinim of Adim is like karka, like land. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Let's see a couple questions. TA 11. Kama psukim srichim likroi l'chol pachas b'haftara u'masa ein mapkidin al kach. So typically, you're right. You do need 21, but there are a couple exceptions, as we said before. Fine. TB 13. El devarim habo lefdoisam min hahektish srichin shuma basara davka. So, as we said, karkos, when it comes to land, as well as an adam, a person who says demei alai, the value is upon me. Adka.